This year we're doing things a little differently, and we're looking forward to the things we're excited about in 2022, because your Geek History lesson on 2022 is now in session. Hello and welcome to Geek History Lesson. I'm Ashley Victoria Robinson.
And I'm Jason Fortune Teller Inman. Welcome to your Mind University, because this is the podcast where we take one character, one construct, or one idea or year and talk about them in a little bit less than an hour. And this is a place we call the Mind University. You are the Mind University students. Happy 2022, everybody. Or happy, 2347 if you're listening on Deep Space 8 somehow in the future, in the 23rd century.
Why'd you pick 8?
Huh?
Why'd you pick 8?
Because, you can't beat 9. You can't go higher than 9.
True.
Deep Space 9 is the
Paramount.
best of the deep spaces.
Yeah.
So it's nothing but lower. So Deep Space 8.
Okay.
Then it keeps Deep Space, Deep Space 1's at the bottom of the barrel.
I bet Deep Space 2 is cute, though, and classic.
Well, yeah, because they were the middle child. They were the first middle child, so they're really special. Anyways, we're not here to talk about deep spaces. We all know Deep Space Nine is the best one. Anyways, we are going to talk about 2022. We're trying to talk about things, movies and television and comic books that we are looking forward to in the year of 2022. And, I know we usually do a best of 2021. Well, listeners, that episode is still happening, but it is happening over on our Patreon, over at patreon.com/Jawiin. That's Jawiin. So if you want to hear what we thought was the best stuff of 2021, hey, holiday travel got in the way, guys. Sorry. We had to go see our families, for God's sakes.
Yeah, you tell the TSA that that we don't need to be paying for extra tests.
TSA, we need to record a podcast. And they're like, sir, let go of my collar.
They were like, sir, you need to sit in Toronto Pearson International Airport for 7 hours.
Have we talked about Lock and Key yet? Sir, I don't care. We are going to talk about Lock and Key a little bit. But anyways, I don't know, maybe. Anyways, so go check that over at patreon.com/Jawiin. That's how you support the podcast. We also do awesome podcasts, extra podcasts. There's Jason and Ashley's Excellent Adventures, which is our personal podcast. Mm-hmm. And also there is Jason and Jeremy John About Justice League, where my friend Jeremy Skinner and I review every episode of Justice League. We're almost at the end of season 1.
Or as this month it's called, Jason and Jeremy Suffer Through Justice League.
Spoilers. Anyways, so go check that out over at patreon.com/Jawiin. All right, enough of all of that. But thanks to the super friends that do. Anyways, Ashley, we're going to talk about 2022, the year that we're currently in.
The year of our Lord and Savior Thor, 2022. Actually, by Thor year, it's probably like 8022.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know how old.
I don't know where you're going with this joke. So
I was trying to not go by like the Christian calendar and go by like the Norse calendar, but I don't know enough about it to have landed that joke. You're welcome.
Cool. All right, Ashley, let's talk about some movies that are coming out in 2022. Now, do you want to give like a rough list so we do a reminder of like just some basic movies just in case you're not aware of that are coming out?
Yeah.
And then we'll say like which ones we are the most jazzed for, or which ones are like peaking our Spidey spins.
Yeah. So I'm going to go through some pretty genre-specific ones.
Yeah.
The Batman, right around the corner, coming out in March. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Thor, Love and Thunder. Across the Spider-Verse. The Flash. Aquaman the Lost Kingdom. Wakanda Forever. Nope. Seeing Red, The Northman, and Black Adam all hit cinemas in 2022.
Ashley, first off, we should state that at the time of this recording, none of these movies have been pushed by the release date again, which is a very real possibility.
That's a big asterisk, but I think 2 years into the Panini, people understand that. So.
I don't know what Nope is.
That is the new Jordan Peele project. Yeah, which is why I wanted to include it, because I kind of felt like it fell into the realm of things that we talk about here on the pod. He's a creator that we're really into. So
he's
that's
obsessed
what
with one-word titles, isn't he?
I mean, it's served him well. Get Out is 2. And then Us, but also what?
Okay, so on that track,
but Keanu is 1.
He went from 2 to 1. This should be no worse.
Should be Nope. Well, it's Nope.
It should be blank.
It's a literal negative. It's Nope.
Actually, I was really hoping it was a Leslie Nope biography.
It's not spelled correctly.
I know.
I'm sorry,
but I had some hope here. All right, Ashley. Let's go through who in this is the clear winner to you? Like, what is the one that you are the most excited about for 2022?
So to me, it breaks down in sort of two ways. You can do kind of like when we do our best of for the year. There's your superheroes, and then there's your not superheroes. So for me, of the superhero stuff, I think it's pretty obvious if you've listened to the podcast for a while, but Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is definitely the one that I am the most excited for. I have heard hailing frequencies open, and I have heard multiple people in my life.
My phone was on, everybody. We have a special guest coming into the next episode of GHL that we're recording right after this one. So I wanted to make sure that I didn't leave them out in the cold.
There you go.
So that actually was a message from 2023 telling us what is the best movie. Hello?
Hello, computer? Hello, iPhone? Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. Doctor Strange, obviously a staple of the podcast. We love Mr. Stevie, but I think Doctor Strange is one of the last bastions of the MCU where they're actually doing interesting, provocative, thought and mind-bending things. And I kind of think everything else in the MCU is becoming a pale comparison of what they're doing in Doctor Strange. And it's obvious if you're watching the movies and even tangentially aware of the shows that they've been building to this for a long time. Plus, I'm here for Sweater Strange. So that's, for the superhero stuff, that is my most anticipated offering of the year. In terms of not superhero stuff, the Northman is what I'm into. That better be the Northman calling and not a Texas cowboy. Hello?
Hello, Ashley.
Oh, Stevie. This is better than I could have hoped for.
Dr. Stephen Strange here. Fresh off my nuptials, by the way.
Yes, congratulations.
I just want to thank you, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, for the love of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Our tagline is, if you want a multiverse, make sure it's mad. So I just want to thank you. I will say, next time set up direct deposit so I won't have to put the check in the mail for the promotion of my movie.
Oh, you sent a check? I thought you were paying me by making me the most powerful podcaster in the multiverse.
Yes. Not a sponsored segment. All right, goodbye, Ashley. Thank you so much for the plug.
Bye,
Kisses.
Steve.
Kisses.
Ooh, kisses. Ooh, he's cute. I'm very honored. Click. Welcome back.
Hey.
Sorry,
So
I
you
had
sold
to take
out
that.
you sold out our podcast? What happened here?
Yeah, we're very sellable. You can email us geekhistorylesson@gmail.com for promotional opportunities. If you are a wizard or a witch, you will get priority. Seriously, though, and I did put this on my social media, I want a coffee sponsor in 2022 for Geek History Lesson. I'm speaking that into the universe.
Cool.
So if you own an independent coffee chain, BIPOC and queer, not preference, but you'll go to the top of the list, email us because I want your coffee and you want our ad space.
I also will say that, I'll put that out to any listener out here. If you got a good business and we like the business, I'll just say, like, our ad spots are not expensive.
No, they're not.
Just throwing it out there.
But I really want a coffee one.
Anyways, before Dr. Strange called in, were you going to say, like, which one you're not looking forward to?
No, the Northman is the not superhero one that I'm most looking forward to. Because it's Robert Eggers' new movie.
Lighthouse, right?
Yes, you may know him from such things as The Lighthouse and The Witch.
Yes, as the movie that went kind of went big in 2020, The Lighthouse.
I would say so.
That was going crazy, like, right before the pandemic.
If you want to see Batman fight the Joker, The Lighthouse is the best version of it.
Or Green Goblin.
The actor who will never play the Joker. All I know about The Northman is that it's set in Viking times, and it's an A24 movie. And for me, A24 has my...
They're putting the most exciting stuff out there, I think.
Yeah, they have. We just watched The Tragedy of Macbeth.
Which I thought was fantastic.
Phenomenal. Yep. So that's like there's a lot of other stuff that I'm excited for, but those are the two that have floated to the top for me.
Nice.
So I've talked for a long time. Jason, what movies are on your radar? And I know you might be casting a wider net than the one that I just read.
Actually, I don't really. I do have a list of 2022 movies that I do want to go down a little bit and sort of make sure we're not missing anything. But I actually, for me, Ashley, I have two answers to this question as well. Mine is Spider-Man Across the Universe.
Across the Spider-Verse.
1.
Yeah.
As Across the Universe?
Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah. Webs are falling like teardrops in...
Webs are shooting out like endless...
Spaghetti from a paper cup, from a paper bowl.
From McFarlane's pen.
Yeah, there you go.
We're songwriter.
But the big reason why is because the first Spider-Verse was so amazing. And when we saw Spider-Verse in theaters, I leaned over to you during the end credits and said the only downside of that movie.
Yes, I was going to tell that story if you did.
Is that we didn't see Spider-Man 2099.
And then it said
Nueva New York. And
you
I went,
Jason and I do this thing in the movies when we're excited. I did this to you when they first said Stephen Strange, where we just like smack the other person's leg. And it's like, oh my God.
So the fact that we are getting the sequel and from all intents and purposes, from the tiny teaser trailer we got from this movie, it seems like Miguel is going to be a big part of this movie.
With a phenomenal casting choice behind him as well.
Oh, Oscar Isaac is an excellent choice for Miguel O'Hara. So I'm really excited about that. I am a little worried that it won't be able to match the first one. But
lightning
you know what?
in a bottle.
Exactly. But that's when you manage your expectations and you lower them. It will never exceed the first one because we're not surprised anymore. But my second choice is your number one as well. It's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And I'm very excited about this because I liked what they did with Doctor Strange in Spider-Man No Way Home.
And in What If.
And I'm a big fan of Sam Raimi. And Sam Raimi hasn't released a movie, I think, in like 6 or 7 years. I'm actually going to look this up right now because
I can look it up. You can keep talking.
Friends, if you are not a fan of the master that is Sam Raimi, Spider-Man 2 Sam Raimi, The Evil Dead Sam Raimi, I'm trying to figure out what was it.
I just want to say that I watched his original Evil Dead 2 years ago as part of my Spooky Watch series, and it holds up in a way that I was not prepared for. So he's made he made a TV short.
He's produced a lot of stuff.
But under director, his last credit is the Ash and the Evil Dead TV series.
Yes, and
from 2015.
Okay, so I was pretty certain about this, but I didn't want to say it in the pod. Yeah, his last movie was Oz the Great and Powerful in 2013. So this to me is an auteur.
It's 9 years
returning to the medium that he deserves to be in. And we've already seen what Sam Raimi does with Ditko characters.
Makes the best live action Spider-Man that we've seen ever.
Guess who is the most Ditkoist creation of all time?
Doctor Strange.
Mr. Doctor Strange.
All you got to do is look at the hand.
Yes.
Look at the hand.
So I'm very excited, and I'm calling it right now. I put money in it right now that Tobey Maguire Spider-Man is in that movie. I'm just going to throw it out there.
I thought you and I have talked about this extensively because of the Raimi of it all.
Yes.
And then the persistent rumors that that's also how Tobey got into
other things. Yes.
Yeah. I'll love it either way. I'll love it if he's there because he's a great actor. I'll love it if he's not there because that's also fine.
Ashley, I'm going to bring this out into the air. Should we go back and edit that spoiler that you just threw out there for No Way Home? Just throw this out.
It's been 2 weeks.
I will say,
as of the date of this recording, it's been 2 weeks and 1 day.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Look, I'll say this. And you can leave this in if you want.
I am going to leave it in.
You're the one who edits it. So I leave the decision to you.
I'm just saying.
I don't think so. I said that having thought about the implications of what it would mean. I think we're fine.
I will say Variety had a headline about it already.
Yes, they did.
But I will say, so listeners, I'm sorry if you got spoiled on anything.
I'm not sorry, and I'm writing about it on the blog next week. So.
Okay, all right. Well, good luck.
So gird yourself.
Okay. I hope we didn't spoil anything. If we did, I'm sorry.
We're certainly not the first people.
No, we've been pretty good. But it is interesting that this will be the end of it because I don't want to give it away if you haven't figured it out. But it is interesting how much they have kept that movie quiet. Because I figured they would be advertised. Anyways, let's not talk about that movie because we're going to spoil some other stuff about it. But Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is another one. Another one, Ashley, I'm very excited about that I think nobody is talking about is a movie called Cocaine Bear.
What?
Yeah, there's a movie coming out in 2022 called Cocaine Bear.
I'm going to tell you just on that title, not for Ashley.
I was going to say, Ashley, do you want to make a guess about what you think Cocaine Bear is about? Because the title might be exactly what the movie's about.
I hope Cocaine Bear is the first in a many installment franchise that the Asylum spent 3 days shooting.
What's the Asylum?
The Asylum is a production house in Los Angeles that makes such gems.
Are you talking about Asylum Pictures?
Yes,
Okay.
as the Sharknado series and Lava Bear, and Bearquake, and I love that for them. So that's what I hope Cocaine Bear is. I hope it's an executive in LA who's a bear in the 80s on a bunch of coke driving on Mulholland.
The Cocaine Bear is the story of an American black bear that died in 1985 after consuming a duffel bag full of cocaine.
I'm not wrong.
Elizabeth Banks directs.
What?
It stars Kerry Russell,
What?
O'Shea Jackson Jr., and our favorite, Ray Liotta.
Oh, I was really hoping you were going to take Don Frank Chittle Jr., Kansas City's favorite son.
No, I wish so. But Cocaine Bear. He's going to be a big hit next year, I think.
Honestly, it could be.
Mm-hmm.
Stranger things have happened.
All right. So, Ashley, before we look through the list and I just see if there's anything that pops out, I want to ask you, from the list of movies we have here, the more genre-esque movies, make a call on who you think makes the most box office.
The Batman.
Which do you think is the biggest hit?
The Batman.
You think it's the Batman?
The Batman. Because
Interesting.
it's got Batman in the title.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's between The Batman and Spider-Verse.
Interesting.
Because it's between the kings of the franchises.
Did the first Spider-Verse make $1 billion?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I
didn't think that movie had done as well as... obviously,
but
enough to get a sequel.
it has the power of both the OG Spider-Verse and No Way Home at its back.
That's true. And I will say, at the end of the day, I really don't care about box office, but I just think this is a fun, shot in the dark. You're just throwing the dart out there.
Yeah, totally. I understand.
It grossed, it said $375 million, which is kind of low, actually, comparatively into the, so interesting. I think, Ashley, I considered the Batman because there is a lot of fervor there, but I don't know. It's a new Batman.
But I think the people who hate Zack Snyder will go to see it because they hate Zack Snyder. And then I think the people who love Zack Snyder will go to see it so that they can then talk smack about how Zack Snyder is better.
Can I tell you which one I actually think it is?
Yes, please.
I think it's going to be Thor: Love and Thunder.
I actually think Thor: Love and Thunder has a good chance at taking
because
it.
Thor: Ragnarok made a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I think this one is going to lean into that. I think everybody has already realized that Ragnarok was good, and so I think another Thor movie that's the one I think is gonna hit big in this year. I will say I think I'm gonna be blown away if Black Adam does well. I'm gonna be surprised.
So you are doubting in the power of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
I am.
I'm not saying that I disagree with you. Because I just don't care. Black Adam is like a totally fine character. We'll do a Black Adam episode.
I just don't think it'll connect with the general audience. Is my thing.
I agree. It's a movie for people who love the Silver Age.
All right, let's talk about some other 2022 movies here. And Ashley, I want to just rapid fire your thoughts here.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, April 8th, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers live action.
No, thank you.
All right, fair.
Sorry.
Friday, May 20th, DC League of Super Pets, starring Dwayne Johnson as Crypto.
12 out of 10, excited.
I am excited. Keanu Reeves is in that movie. I don't know who as.
I hope it's streaky.
That would be really good.
Meow.
Kevin Hart is in that.
That's a negative for me.
Kevin Hart might be streaky.
I hope not.
So, or you know what? Kevin Hart might be Ace the Bat Hound, actually.
I hope not.
Yeah. Friday, June 10th, Jurassic World Dominion.
I'm mixed on that, but I will say we have a very cool episode for that planned, and that's why I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, we do.
We have a really good guest.
We
for
already
that.
have the guest.
Yeah.
We don't have him confirmed, but the guest is already on board.
We don't have the date confirmed, but we have their presence.
We do have a
confirmed.
really cool guest for that one.
So I'm excited because of that. Maybe more than I'm excited for the movie itself.
Listeners, we are doing it. A Jurassic Park episode is coming, so buckle up.
So get your requests in if you want your name said.
Apparently in June, there's an untitled Elvis biopic, but I don't know how you're releasing it if it's untitled, but it stars Tom Hanks, apparently.
As Elvis?
I don't know. I know. I would bet he's the Colonel.
It'd be really funny if Colin Hanks was Elvis. I mean, okay, cool, I guess. Question mark?
I'm trying to get the schedule to continue because I want to see like what is at the end of the year, but this website Cinema Blend keeps failing on me. Curse you, Cinema Blend.
How dare you?
Okay, so let's look at what's coming at the end of the year. At the end of the year, we have, Ashley, this is one that you like and a lot of other people like. Hocus Pocus 2 is going to be at the end of this year.
Hocus Pocus 2 is my most anticipated Disney film of the year.
Really?
Oh yeah. They've released one official photo and it is saved to my phone.
They look pretty good.
Kathy
They look pretty good.
Najimy looks better than ever. And she's super funny. No, I'm very excited for Hocus Pocus.
What about
2.
Indiana Jones 5, Ashley?
No.
No? Here's one I'm excited about. John Wick Chapter 4 is going to come out Christmas 2022.
Isn't Donnie Yen is in that?
He is.
Yeah.
He
I'll go
is.
see it just for that, honestly.
Let's see. Anything else that's popping out on this list? Oh, Mission Impossible 7 is supposed to be happening September next year.
I think that's ambitious.
I agree. It's funny.
Not to be horrible about it, but I think it's ambitious.
I will say a lot of these are just, they all say TBD.
Yeah.
Which all means, well, will the pandemic let them
Yeah, it's like
actually release the movie?
looking at Marvel's television schedule for next year.
Owen Wilson is in a movie called Secret Headquarters. Oh, wow. Owen Wilson. He's in a movie. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's move on to that other thing that we like to call television.
Hey, that's like movies, but on your TV.
Now, this one we have a lot more in television because streaming is endless.
Yeah.
We have a Peacemaker show hitting soon. We have Ozark, Star Trek Lower Decks, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Secret Invasion, The Mandalorian, She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, Moon Knight, Doom Patrol, Titans, Naomi, Batwoman, The Flash, Baymax, Stranger Things, Lord of the Rings, Paper Girls, His Dark Materials, Westworld, Ted Lasso, Star Trek Picard, Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Star Trek Discovery, Young Justice, Star Trek Better Call Saul.
Honestly, I'd love to see Bob Odenkirk in Star Trek.
So there is a lot out there. It's a very long list, little hodgepodge of everything out there. Ashley, I want to know, I want to hear what is your most anticipated, and then let's talk about some other things, because this to me is a very hard category because there are several things I'm looking forward to, more so in television than in movies. There was a clear winner to me. What in television is standing out to you?
Yeah, there's a lot that I'm excited for in television. You've said this before on the podcast. I do think we're in a golden age of television right now. I'm really looking forward to the conclusion of His Dark Material.
Ooh.
Because we'll be covering the Amber Spyglass, that book. And the Amber Spyglass is when they really get into weird Christian Judeo-Hermetic magic.
It's the book that made you cry.
It did make me cry.
Ashley, is that a spoiler? Should I take that out?
That's
Should I
not
take that out of the podcast?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know if you wanted to give that away that you cried.
That I cried? I cry at literally everything.
All right, everybody, if you didn't want to know that Ashley cried, I'm sorry, and I apologize.
At a book that's like 15 years old at this point. Yeah, I'm really interested. I think his Dark Materials was a show that really surprised me with how good it was, and then how much it improved in the second season. So I'm really looking forward to the conclusion of his Dark Materials. I'm also really excited because like next week, A Discovery of Witches, the final season drops.
What is that?
So it's the Matthew Good is a Vampire show, and Alex Kingston is a lesbian witch show.
Where is it at?
It's a BBC show.
Oh, okay.
It's a Sky TV. Or no, it's not BBC. It's a Sky original. And it streams on something. Don't remember where I streamed it, but it's based on a series of books. And it's an American girl in Oxford is researching alchemy, and she learns that she knows that she's like an ancestral witch, but she learns that she's a very powerful witch, and she learns that there's also demons and vampires.
Cool.
And there's different caste systems, and she falls in love with Matthew Good because who wouldn't?
Yeah.
And then their love is forbidden, so it's I've done
it several times.
Fallen in love with Matthew Good?
Yeah, each time I see him.
Truly, again, who wouldn't?
He was the best part of The King's Man.
Oh yeah.
Don't give that spoiler
Yeah,
away.
he was also spoiler alert, most people aren't good in The King's Man.
Spoiler, that's true.
No, everyone's pretty fine in The King's Man, but Matthew Good is very, very good.
I enjoyed it. It's definitely the weakest of the three. Throw that out there.
He's
a little tiny review for you. I need a sound effect for that. Hold on.
He's also very good in The Imitation Game.
Matthew Good?
Yeah. I remember watching The Imitation Game starring Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch, with Jason, and Matthew Good was in that, and we were like, when did Ozymandias get so good?
Everybody, here's a tiny review. The King's Man ain't so Kingsley. That was a tiny review. What do you think?
I think Rhys Ifans does a lot of heavy lifting in that movie.
About my tiny review. Not.
No, I know.
I know. That's why Ashley's
Also,
comedy gold.
Intern Brago is like having a moment in the background.
I think we need to cut that segment immediately.
Anytime going forward, if someone asks us for a review, we should just compile a bunch of them together as tiny reviews. What did you think of Spider-Man No Way Home? It was fine. Okay.
Tiny review. Spider-Man No Way Home. You best get the pest spray because there are too many damn spiders. Tiny review.
Hey, Jason, do you want to go and cut out that spoiler?
Too many spiders?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
If they've listened to this point, they're way spoiled.
somebody naming no comic book websites are definitely already spoiled that during the screening.
Look, if you don't want to know that the Japanese Spider-Man is in Spider-Man No Way Home, then I cannot help you. I'm sorry.
But when Spider-Man shows up, it's really,
That's
really
right.
powerful.
That's right. Okay, so
What for you? Is there any TV? Because I just railroaded you.
So my most anticipated, well, I have a couple in here, but
Okay.
the one that, because it just premiered, is A Toast of Tinseltown, Matt Berry's final season as Stephen Toast in Hollywood. I've heard mixed things on it. I don't know how I'm going to see it because I know it's on BBC, so I'm very interested in that. My number one, very top number one of this entire list has to be Better Call Saul.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the reason why I added to the list because it's the final season. Now
It's the only one on our list that's all in caps lock.
yeah, well, because I just added it.
I know.
But it's the final season. I've been curious about this show since the very beginning of how exactly it was going to connect to Breaking Bad. And I think for me, each season of Better Call Saul has gotten better and better and has surprised me in more distinct ways. I'm very curious as well to see, can we see Bob Odenkirk pre and post heart attack? Will that affect the series? I don't know. My trust in Vince Gilligan is pretty strong. He does excellent work. He did not fail me on Breaking Bad, and I love everything he writes. So I'm pretty certain he's going to land this. So I'm very excited by that because I'm not really worried about it like I am on both basically everything else on this list, where I'm kind of like, I don't know, it might not be good. Which you know, we all have those fears. Another thing that I'm very excited about is Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm excited for that because that is the show. And Ashley, you know of me for the entirety that we've known each other. I have said for years that the two shows that Star Wars needs to make is Boba Fett and Obi-Wan Kenobi. And
wow, and it's almost like you should be producing television.
and here we are 8 years later.
Yeah.
And we, in the same year, have a Boba Fett and an Obi-Wan Kenobi show. And you're like, it's about damn time.
Can I add one that we didn't get on this list?
You can add as many as you want. I'm not done yet, but you can keep going.
Okay.
You're gonna go ahead.
I am so excited for the new season of What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was...
Are we going to get one this season?
Well, they just wrapped.
Okay.
They wrapped not too long ago, so I believe so, but it's one of those like TBD ones. But that was a show that when it premiered, I was like, there's no way this is going to be good because the movie is so good. And then the show is so good. And just because they've had more swings at bat, I think now has outstripped the movie. And they always surprise me with the weird stuff that they do and how they keep upgrading Guillermo. So I'm just like, I'm really excited for What We Do in the Shadows.
Some other quick hits I want to throw out.
Yeah.
The Boys, because I know both other seasons were really great. And it's going to premiere my birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
So that's going to be really good. I'm excited to see what is going to happen with the Orville because they've sort of basically confirmed that this might be the final season. And
what is it, season 3 or 4?
Season 3. And I know that because they're on Hulu instead of Fox, they sort of they made it a little bit more adult. So I'm curious to see like how that transcends to the Orville. And then lastly, Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I'm very curious to see what they do with Captain Pike.
I am excited for, I mean, all things Star Trek all the time, but of the live action shows,
Anson Mount, man, he's back, baby. He's back.
Back again.
So yeah, there you go. I guess we're moving to comic books.
Yeah.
Cool. Now this one's harder
Because we don't know when things move
we only kind of know solicits to like March.
Yeah.
So we only know like what people are doing the first third of the year. By the way, it's funny because I know the first comic book we're event is going to be talking about the 10 Lives of Wolverine or the X Lives of Wolverine. And intern Brago was literally just sniffing a Bishop action figure. And that's going to lead us to... And that's going to lead us to... Action Figure Spotlight. Ashley...
Yes.
We've talked about this one before, but I have a Bishop action figure with a honking big gun that I've talked about on the podcast. Is one of my favorite.
You said gun.
Honking big gun. And, I could talk about that again, and you can share that.
Yeah, for sure.
But I actually instead am going to talk about
your honking big Wolverine?
No, my honking big Havoc. I have a Havoc that is an action figure that intern Cat Brago was just sniffing. It is a 90s costume with a jacket, and he's got the stuff, and it's a very, very cool figure. So we have a fun thing, guys. We just, we know we've been doing action figure spotlights for a long time, and here is something new. Ashley, we're going to be showing the action figure spotlights on a new account. What is that?
So we have a brand spanking new Instagram, which is on Instagram at Geek History Lesson, because they let you have enough letters to spell Geek History Lesson, unlike Twitter. And so all of our action figure spotlights are going to be highlighted over on the Instagram, and we have daily content going there. And I mentioned it earlier, we also launched a Geek History Lesson blog this week. So the Instagram is going to have a lot of fun additional content to like stuff that we can't go as deep into on the podcast, stuff that we can't go as deep into on the blog. So all the bonus stuff that you want to see is going to be over there, including fancy action figure spotlight pictures.
Yeah.
And links on where you can buy your own versions of the same action figures.
Yeah. So anyways, let's get back to comics and books and whatnot. Some of the ones we know Saga's coming back, the Brian K. Vaughan series. They're finally making an omnibus of the Milestone comics, which we talked about all the time here. Super Best Friend, my comic, is coming back very, 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 very soon. I can't announce a date yet, but it's going to be coming out very, very, very soon. So keep your eyes peeled to my Twitter. Star Wars High Republic, Nightwing. Ashley, what's sticking out here to you?
So this is like my honest answer is I'm very excited for Super Best Friend to come out because I've read more than anybody else has. And I think it's the best comics you've ever written.
Okay.
And I'm really excited for people to get to see it. And I know I'm super biased, but I mean that genuinely. Like, people are not ready for how cool the next issue is.
I will tell you that somewhere around the time of this recording, I think I might be announcing the official date of when it's coming back.
That seems correct to me.
Yeah. So be on the lookout.
But other than that, I'm super hyped for Nightwing to continue. It's my favorite ongoing at DC. Robins is also wrapping up. The miniseries is wrapping up. We're going to have a very special Dreaded by Me episode to coincide with the final issue of Robins, but that's a limited series.
Dreaded by you? What does that mean?
It means you haven't read far enough ahead of schedule.
Oh, okay.
But it ties into it. I think it'll be fun, but it's a character that I'm not super fond of.
I know who this character is, but I didn't. Okay, got it.
Yeah. But Nightwing is the thing that I'm really looking forward to in terms of ongoing, and then I'm really looking forward to. You already mentioned it, 10 Lives of Wolverine, because Wolverine's a character that I really like, but when he's really bad, he's really bad. But when he's really good, he's really good. And it's written by Ben Percy, who's already written a
former GHL guest.
Hopefully future GHL guest. Ben Percy. He's already written Wolverine, and it's been good. He wrote the audio drama of Wolverine, which was good. And then Wolverine, in terms of the overall ethos, is in this sort of transitional period because he's not going to be played by Hugh Jackman anymore. So I think he's changing and evolving to fit the character that they want to bring to the screen with whoever the new actor is, because they're not going to leave him in the toy box like they should. We will get a new Wolverine when the X-Men inevitably premiere in the MCU. So it's just something that I'm really interested to see how it plays out. And now that Hickman's X-Men has come to an end, this is the thing in the X-Men universe that I'm most excited about personally is all. So those are the two that really stick out for me.
I want to talk to you about
dropping your pen.
My pen dropped. Have you seen the Russell Dodderman cover, the variant cover of all the Wolverines?
You know I have.
It's really cool. I wrote it down. It's really awesome.
I hope somebody said thank you, Nicholas Scott, for this idea. Jason.
Well, that's even more infinite. I'm looking forward to the 10 Lives of Wolverine, but the one I'm looking forward to is one that popped into my head is Fantastic Four: The Reckoning War.
And you are famously a huge Fantastic Four fan.
I'm a big Fantastic Four fan, and I've been liking Dan Slott's run, and this is an event that he has been dropping into his comic books for 10 years now, and I think Marvel finally approved the pitch.
Kind of like Spider-Verse?
Yes.
Kind of like a Spectacular?
Because he has Spider-Man? A She-Hulk run from like 2010 that mentions the Reckoning
Single
War.
green female.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So he has been building up to this, and he says that it connects to like the first 20 issues of Lee and Kirby's Fantastic Four. He said that this all comes from a thing that a character said in that run. Which,
you know, in a lot of ways is like a holy grail of Marvel Comics.
Yes.
Is that early run.
So I'm very curious to read that first issue and figure out, okay, what is this connection? Because he claims, he has advertised it as that he has said that he's surprised no one has ever done this story. Because he said it was out there and he was surprised. So anyways, there you go. So Reckoning War. I'm very curious to know what the Reckoning is. All right, so what's next, Ashley?
Next, I think we're going to do Patreon comments because we said, hey, what are you excited about? Or what are some things that we missed? And we're going to see what people had to say, and we're going to talk about it. Yes?
Yeah, sure. Why don't you take the first one there?
The first one is from Taylor Moody. Bless you when you just use your name, and I can read it. Happy New Year to my favorite podcast. Thank you. For movies, I'm looking forward to The Northman. High five, my friend. I have no idea what I was watching while watching The Lighthouse, but I loved it. So hopefully I'll enjoy this one, too. Also, the Batman movie looks great. Shows I'm looking forward to the second half of Young Justice Season 4, probably my favorite DC show. Also looking forward to Jack Reacher and Jack Ryan. Pause. Jason,
so many Jacks.
What are your thoughts on Jack Ryan and Jack Reacher?
So many Jacks. There's too many Jacks.
I don't know which one is which, but I know one of them is Hawk.
Hold on a second here. I'm getting there.
Hold on. What?
Tiny review.
Okay, great.
Jack Ryan. Man, it's complicated. Tiny review. Tiny review. Jack Reacher. I'm glad he's not played by Tom Cruise anymore. Tiny review.
Hey, there you go. And Taylor Moody, I'm really happy that some people added books because we didn't have any books. It says that for books, they plan to read the Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson and Brandon Sanderson and the Jade City series by Fonda Lee. Mistborn series is also on my list to read this year, so very excited to see that.
Cameron Miller, for his comics, is one that we didn't talk about, and I forgot about this one. World's Finest by Mark Waid and Dan Mora. So you've seen Dan Mora's art. He's like draws a fantastic Batman. And this is Mark Waid returning to DC after almost 20 years.
You think they'll finally print his Impulse omnibus?
Maybe if they think it's worth the money for the paper. But answer is probably no. But I'm excited for this book. I actually saw the art. I thought it looked great. And Mark Waid writing Superman, I'm there. I actually might read this week to week. I thought about buying this and like subscribing to it.
Oh, interesting. Yep. Kyler Merrill, also for comics, says The Rogues by Joshua Williamson. I haven't heard about that. It's a Black Label book. But we love Josh.
It's full adult Captain Cold.
Is he gay?
No, I don't know.
I'm
just saying, like, it's going to be rough and tumble.
Yeah. I know what a black series, Black Label means. It means they're going to blur out your junk in the second printing. And New Champion of Shazam by Doc Shaner. Anything Doc Shaner draws is going to be worth the price of admission for the art alone. So I think that's a really good call.
Elliot Bennett is talking about the new volume of Reckless from Brubaker and Phillips and the Milestone Omnibus. That's correct. So Brubaker and Phillips have been doing all these one-shot, like, Reckless series, and they've been pretty good. Although I think the one of the best comics of last year was Pulp by Brubaker, which was not in the Reckless series. So there you go.
Adam Grunther also says that he's looking forward to Doom Patrol Season 4. I am always looking forward to more Doom Patrol because that show surprises me more than any other superhero show I think that we have on the air, honestly.
Diego Nunez says, Happy New Year's, GHL. Well, thank you. Thank you. Love you guys. Oh, I love you too. For movies, he says, I'm looking forward to the couple of movies that Margot Robbie is going to appear in, Babylon and the David O. Russell one. So what is this David O. Russell one? Anyways, I haven't heard about that one, but I'm down for a Margot Robbie stand. And they also said, I'm a big Tom King fan. I'm looking forward to his creator-owned comic book whenever that's officially announced. That's right. Tom King is entering the former GHL guest, is entering the creator-owned space.
Interesting.
I don't know what that reaction means.
I think it's interesting.
Okay. Interesting.
It's always interesting to me when someone who works on Batman says, I'd like to go into the creator-owned space.
Sure.
It's kind of the opposition of working on a huge title. No, actually, I am excited to see Tom do something unfettered by editorial. I honestly think it has the possibility of being his best thing. Because sometimes you're better on your own.
Why don't you take Jordan's and then I'll finish us off?
Host of the Books to Last podcast, Jordan Dunn says, screen-wise, I'm looking forward to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Miss Marvel, and even more RuPaul's Drag Race. Correct. At the time of this recording, season 14 dropped yesterday. Babel by R.F. Kuang, who blew my mind away with her book series, The Poppy War. Bravely by Maggie Stiefvater, which is a novel about Merida from the Disney movie Brave. I'm so excited for that. Jordan and I were messaging.
I have not heard about that.
Came out. Yeah, it's like a novelization about her later. Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson, and A Lady's Guide to Fortune Hunting by Sophie Irwin, which just sounds fun. Jordan, by the way, has some of the best recommendations and sends me some of the best books, like prose books, genre books out there. So if you haven't checked out Books to Last, highly recommend checking it out. Also, Jason is on it as a guest doing the Most American episode, and it's a good episode.
I was just on it. Yeah, it was lovely. Jordan, it was awesome to be on that podcast. Thank you so much. We're going to finish off with a comment from Russ Walker. He says he's looking forward to Nona the Ninth by Tasman Moore. He's looking forward to Multiverse of Madness, Black Adam, since Dr. Fate is one of his favorites. But he ended off sucking up to the boss, which I really appreciate. He's like, and if I can add a podcast I'm looking forward to, it's seeing where GHL goes this year. More guests, more episodes with music about Andy, best anime or best video game music, more appearances by Sorcerer Supreme Clea, a second sound effect on Jason and Jeremy John about Justice League.
Definitely not.
That's not going to happen. The possibilities are endless. Thank you so much for a wonderful podcast and a happy new year. Thank you, Russ. Thank you so much. We can say that if you guys remember the James Bond series that we did over the last 2 years because they kept delaying No Time to Die. We are going to do some series like that this year, but more compressed. We're going to do a little bit of a Doctor Strange month. We're going to be doing a little bit of a Thor month. We're going to be doing a little bit of a Spider-Man month. So you should keep your eyes peeled for that. And I will tell you that there will be Patreon content connected to that. And you know, that's coming soon.
If I can tease something, if you missed watching our reviews, you're really going to love Patreon bonus content this year.
We'll just say we're going to do some video stuff, and then there's going to be some really cool art prints coming out this year that are really cool. I just want to say we have hired an artist to draw some art for the Patreon this year, and he showed us a sneak peek of it last night.
Yeah.
And can I say the character?
I think you could say it. Yeah.
So we asked them to do a picture of longtime GHL character Tex Witherman, and I saw it last night, and like my jaw went to the floor. It's stunning, and
and he looks like a real person.
He looks so real that it hurts. I never conceived this character as a real person, and Tex Witherman is right there, staring back at me and asking me why I'm not buying him pork rinds. Okay. All right, that is it for the main episode. Ashley, are there recommended reading, or should we go straight to the honor roll?
So for the recommended reading, I think what we'll do is we're going to put up some of the collections of the things that we're surprised about and some of the books that other people recommended so that you can check that out, or you can pre-order them when they do come out and start your year off right. So yes, cool. geekhistorylesson.com/recommended reading. Click the Amazon widget, steal from Daddy Bezos, and give it to us.
All right, let's go to the GHL honor roll. That's where if you go to Apple Podcasts and you leave us a 5-star review, we're going to read whatever you write on the podcast because you're helping us in the Apple algorithm. So it's other people that would like this podcast. They find it because you leave us a review. Again, you can write whatever you want.
Okay, so the first person joining the honor roll today is Rumple19, who says, for new and seasoned readers alike, getting into comic books can be a daunting task. There are thousands of comics out there, and trying to find a jumping in point is quite overwhelming. Thankfully, there are good people like Ashley and Jason to help you find your way. Their humorous yet informative approach to teaching eager students about new character, construct, or West Coast Marvel team is pretty unique to any other podcast out there. And even if you're a more experienced comic book reader, you'll still enjoy it. There's always more to learn. Do you know who Sidearm is? I sure didn't. Also, I have to say that as a queer nerd, it's nice to have such an inclusive space to escape to. Thank you. We love you. Spaces like this are sometimes hard to come by in the nerd community, so I really appreciate that both hosts make their show such an accepting environment for everyone. Keep up the great work, guys. And sorry if this was too long. It wasn't too long.
Thank you for that lovely review, Rumple. Welcome into the Teacher's Lounge. We do?
Yeah, we have one more, and then we can welcome them into the teacher's
Not Rumple. Oh, I'm sorry, Rumple. Stand in the doorway, Rumple.
Hold the door open.
Don't. Hey. You pull that foot back. You got to wait. All right, who's next?
We had one really sweet review and one that I appreciate but don't understand.
Look, we said 5 stars.
You're right, whatever you
read
want.
it.
Laxteen123 says, Shang-Chi, it's one step closer to having a disabled person in the MCU.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's like a comment that ties back to our War Machine discussion.
Maybe.
But thank you for your 5 stars.
Hey, thanks for the 5 stars, Laxteen.
Thanks for not telling us that we sucked like some people do.
Laxteen and Rumple, welcome into the 2022 Teacher's Lounge. Catherine Hahn is still here.
I think her and Jeremy are engaged by this point.
Ashley, you spoiled it again. Come on. I was going to make an announcement. We were going to play music. I have Jeremy on the line right here.
It would actually be shockingly easy to get Jeremy on the line.
It would be.
So Doctor Strange Christmas special, the wedding of Jeremy and Catherine.
Probably not. Anyways, so yes, welcome to the engagement party. Catherine brought bugles.
Bugles.
All right. If you want to leave us a 5-star review, go over to Apple Podcasts and do that. And if you liked this, what you hear, we got a very exciting 2022 coming up, guys. Please suggest word of mouth is the best way to grow a podcast. So please tell your friends, if they're asking you for a nerdy podcast, that Geek History Lesson is the one they want to listen to. Don't forget, Ashley, to tell them where they can subscribe to this podcast and where our new blog is.
Where they can subscribe to the podcast?
Excuse me, where they can follow us on social media. I just told them that.
I can do that. But
Yep.
So you can follow us at geekhistorylesson.com. That is the hub of everything. That is where our brand new blog is. Every Thursday, we are releasing supplementary content to what you hear on the podcast. You can find us at facebook.com/geekhistorylesson, on Twitter at GHL Podcast, and newly minted on Instagram at Geek History Lesson. Please go follow us on Instagram because we have so little baby followers there. And we got stories. So we got like 3 times as many content, as much content on the Instagram. And we would love your support there.
Cool. Come on over to at Jawiin, Jawiin, for myself on Instagram and, Twitter. Go to Ashley V. Robinson for Ashley on Instagram and Twitter. And that's it. Ashley, we're to hashtag stick around. How are we ending this? How are we beginning GHL for 2022? Do you have an idea, or should we like throw out what our resolutions are? What are our resolutions for the podcast?
I was gonna say, like, what is our word for the podcast? I don't do resolutions.
Oh, what's our word goal?
Like, I have a word, like every year I have a word like for myself. And so I have a word for the podcast this year. I don't know if you do, or if you want to talk about like your resolution.
Oh, do you have a word?
I have a word for, I do.
Okay, I want to hear it.
And it's brand.
Brand.
Because I want to think of Geek History Lesson. It will always be a podcast, and the podcast is the flagship. But that's what's been really exciting about building out the blog and starting the Instagram is I'm trying to look at Geek History Lesson as everything is like a way of life instead of only a podcast. So for me, this year is about making what Geek History Lesson can be bigger and better than ever.
That's very lovely. I like that a lot. Ashley, we have a call coming in.
Oh, boy.
For you.
Is it Jeremy? Oh, they're called back. Hello?
Hello, Ashley. Tex Willerman
Hold
is
on.
here.
Do you want me to go get Kurt?
No, I want to talk to you.
Oh, okay, great. What's up?
Hello, Tex Willerman, owner of 6 Piggly Wigglies and a shoe store.
How's Texas? How's the power grid?
It's not good. It's not good. It's probably gonna, well, we think it's gonna go down at any day, actually. I bought 17 gallons of jet fuel to keep me warm at night.
Phew. Do you have a jet?
Of course I got a jet. I got 3.
Do you need a jet? You have a teleporter.
Well, I mean, only when he'll answer the phone, Ashley.
Well,
I know my best friend is Kurt Wagner, the Incredible Nightcrawler, but...
In my experience, he always answers the
Excuse me.
phone. You got the
Excuse me.
COVID there, Tex?
I got the Texas COVID. It's worse.
It's COVID with spikes.
It's COVID, and I am vaccinated, so it's all good. It's all right. I actually, I thought when I got the vaccination I'd get superpowers like Kurt. Didn't happen.
Bummer. Nothing stuck to you?
I have a word. I heard a conversation about you guys looking for a word for your podcast.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
since I am the host of a very successful podcast
Called?
Gonzo for Gunsmoke,
Okay, yeah, sure.
or something like that.
It is, yeah.
Gumption for Gunsmoke.
Something like
Look,
that.
we're working on the name. We are workshopping
But
it.
we do know that you love Miss Kitty.
I have been doing. Well, I do love Miss
And her kitty.
and her kitty and her kitten. Anyways, I have a word for you.
Okay.
I think
Beef.
the word of your podcast should be squinty.
What does that mean?
Squinty is a cowboy term in the cowboy language. That's an official language, by the way.
Cowboy.
It's recognized by the Oxford Dictionary. Squinty is to make someone wink, laugh, or smile.
Okay.
Squinty.
Okay.
Squinny. It's a real word. I'm not making that up.
Okay.
All right.
I think that's very admirable.
I mean, I got a second pitch.
Okay.
It's not one word. It's 4. It's a phrase. It's yarn the hours away. Or wobbling jaw. Take your pick. Wobbling jaw is just people that talk too much. Sometimes I think you two talk too much.
I can knit, but I don't want to yarn my hours away.
Well, wobbling jaw sounds pretty good. You guys know. I mean, most people, I'll just say, most professional podcasters would have ended the podcast by this point. And you're still here wobbling.
I don't know if that's true. Have you listened to how long a Mark Maron episode can be?
Who?
It's a good question, honestly.
Is he the guy that wrote The Kingsman?
Yes.
I know who that is. Okay.
He is the Scottish man with a podcast who wrote
By the way, I love that movie. That was great.
The Kingsman?
Yeah, it was great.
Who is your favorite?
Huh? Rasputin?
There's not a single American in it.
It doesn't matter to me.
I kind of thought that the Golden Circle would be more your jam.
I mean, the Golden Circle.
Are you a soda man or whatever the dumb American version of them is called?
Have we turned this into kayaking about the Kingsman? Is that the new podcast?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right,
That's not too specific at all.
I think we can do 3 episodes and then we're done.
You got to be, we could do the comics. We could probably do 6.
We can do 3 episodes and then we'll be done. I don't know if I want to do any more than that.
Okay.
So, anyways, that's all I got.
Great.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
I'll say hi to my horse for you.
Okay.
Bye.
What's your horse's name?
Huh?
What's your horse?
Silver.
Okay.
I don't know. Bye.
Bye. Click.
Well, there you go.
Oh, yeah. He's quite a fella.
I knew he would have an idea in here. But what was your word again? The original
Brand.
word? Brand. That's pretty good.
Okay.
You sure? Wobbling jaw? Squinty's pretty good.
Squinty's pretty good.
Squinty's pretty good. Anyways.
Put it on a t-shirt.
Put it on a t-shirt, everybody. Squinty. I'm going to write that down, actually.
It can be Tex winking at someone.
Anyways, there you go, everybody. Thank you so much. I hope you stick around with us for 2022. We have some really good episodes coming up. We're really happy that you're here. We're very excited about 2022. Come along for a ride and get squinty with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks for listening to Geek History Lesson. I am Jason. Definitely needs a drink, Inman.
I'm Ashley Victoria Robinson.
Professor Ashley, will you please close out the 2022 podcast?
Class is now dismissed. No math.
I know math.